Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia. Aditi, the mother and the daughter of Aditya, the sun god. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature with which the perfect objects of the universe are designed and created. Divyank is the reward of 60 years of integrated education. Impeccable wisdom is enlightening, and integrated knowledge is empowering. Aditi, this is one of the most important videos of mine, which I would definitely like everybody to understand and comprehend the wisdom of Aditi so that we can make our spiritual journey of evolution and enlightenment simple from core to the ultimate. In my opinion, if you want to understand, once you understand Aditi, Aditya, you can understand your nature much, much better. But the kind of information available to Aditi from Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, to internet, to Google, to all the books available around the world, quote in quote, unfortunately, is very, very sectarian, and there is no concurrence what exactly Aditi stands for. Some believe Aditi is the mother of Aditya. Some say she is the mother of gods, and some say that everything is created out of it, and she is even daughter of Aditya, the sun. Having got a lot of information which I could not make sense to start with, it is very obvious and natural to raise an honest question to my voice of silence, and the question was, what is the nature of Kundalini in scientific terms? The answer given by the voice of silence is what I'm going to share with you. Number one, since Kundalini is the one which I experienced in 1991 as the first step of spiritual evolution, it was the important part to understand Kundalini first. And Kundalini is an immortal, indwelling human soul. That was very enlightening statement that Aditi is Kundalini and is immortal, indwelling human soul, which is absolutely different from what I was made to understand of what Kundalini Shakti itself. The second point which was made to understand is Kundalini is also Atma, Atman and Antaratma is also synonyms of Kundalini only. Even Prana, life breath, which is responsible for life and death, is also Kundalini only. Third point, which I was made to understand is, if you want to understand Kundalini, you got to understand Atma, Atman and Antaratma's nature first. The question is that nature of Kundalini. As far as ancient Indian scriptures are concerned, I was made to understand since my childhood that Atma is indestructible, Atma is inexhaustible, indisputable. It cannot be burnt, it cannot be cut, it cannot be wet by anything, it cannot be destroyed. And that was the description of Atma. And I am made to understand Atma and Kundalini are identical. So hence, Kundalini should also mean that it is indestructible, inexhaustible, it cannot be cut, burnt, wet or destroyed. In other words, it can be called, it is a catalyst for spiritual evolution. Then third thing which I was made to understand, that Kundalini is also called Aditi in Vedas and Upanishads. Aditi is the mother of Daksha in Rig Vedas. Aditi is the mother of son Aditya in Upanishads. So it made a sense that everything originates from here. So I'm sure Vedas also say, Upanishads also say, everything has come from the self, our Atma, and everything is a part of that. So naturally, anything and everything which comes from whichever source has to be mother of that. So from that, Aditi is the mother, or Daksha, or the king, or gods, or the sun, are we all human beings, including gods, goddesses, and others. I think it started making a lot of sense to me because now everything was falling into the scientific line. Then the next point was I was made to understand Aditya is made of hydrogen atoms and elements. So, in other words, hydrogen atoms and elements play a very important role in Aditya consciousness, sun consciousness. Then Aditi is made of inert matter, helium-4. If Aditi and Aditya are synonyms, no, very related to each other as a mother and son, then hydrogen and helium should have something very important role to play in solar consciousness or Aditya consciousness. Was another new point which was coming up. Next stage which I was made to understand, it is produced in the core of the sun. If Aditi is produced in the core of the sun, so it could also mean that Aditi is a daughter of Aditya. So now picture become even more close. That Aditi is also the mother, Aditi is also the daughter of Aditya. So my understanding that it could be both was getting the kind of scientific knowledge to understand it better. So I think next step revelation was it is produced with the fusion of hydrogen. That means helium-4 Aditi is produced from fusion of hydrogen atoms and elements, and the fission of helium-4 creates hydrogen atoms and elements. I think this background, this knowledge, intuitive wisdom given to me was very interesting point to start my further journey to understand Aditi in totality. Let's go to this particular slide. Right on top I have written Aditi, Aditya and Aditi. That means first Aditi is the mother of Aditya and second Aditi is the daughter of Aditya. So now with that clarity in mind also became very clear, and meantime I had also realized that Upanishads make it very clear. The teachers of ancient Indian sages was Aditya or the sun, and that is the declaration, and that is the teaching, that is the preaching. If your guru is Surya, the teacher of this Surya, if you can understand Surya completely, in that case, you can understand the entire human body and consciousness clearly. So for me, it became an issue that I have to really understand why Surya is the teacher of the ancient. Can I make Surya as my guru and learn A to Z from sun god or Surya or Aditya alone? Let me share at this moment. I think Surya has taught me everything which I am talking about, whether it is from discipline, giving, everything. All the characteristics of spirituality are found in sun god or Aditya. From that point of view, absolutely no doubt, is my guru and not anybody else. Now, to understand this particular concept, Aditi, Aditya, and Aditi, let us understand the proton-proton nuclear reaction in the core of the sun god or Aditya. Now, I have divided the whole thing into two columns, left and right. In the left, I have written the fusion of helium-4, and the right, I have written fission of helium-4. And under the fusion of helium-4, I have written Aditi, the daughter. That means, let's understand it. I have put the first step. Let us start with the fusion of two protons of hydrogen, which you can see right on top on the left side. They are fusing together to form energy, which is going out. At the same time, they lead to the formation of deuterium. You can say He2. Then third step is addition of one more hydrogen proton to form helium-3. You can see that as a second step in this, leading to helium-3, which has got two protons and one neutron. Then fourth step is fusion of two helium-3 to form helium-4, plus it gives two protons of hydrogen atoms. So left side flow chart makes it very clear. What we start from hydrogen, which is Aditya, to formation of helium-4, which is Aditi, and this side we can definitely say it is a daughter of Aditya because it's formed from hydrogen to helium-4, and this is the one which gets released to the solar system partial, and it becomes the indwelling human soul to lead the further spiritual evolution. Now on the other side, the cycle of proton-proton nuclear reaction in the core of the sun should go on. It has been going on from the time sun is made, and it is between hydrogen to helium, helium to 4. Now we have understood hydrogen to helium on the left side. Now other side you can see Aditi, the mother. Now we have formed the helium-4, which is daughter, becomes the mother, and now helium-4, the fission of helium-4 stains different stages, almost the parallel or reverse of that, finally goes to the formation of hydrogen protons, and that is Aditya, our sun. So this Aditi, from which fission takes place to form that site, can be called the mother. The fusion site can be called Aditi. So that way I do feel it makes a lot of sense. Okay, one has to be mother, one has to be daughter, and the cycle goes on, and from that the wisdom of Vedas, Upanishads, I think there's a lot of cryptic wisdom which was hidden in Vedas and Upanishads. I think I'm able to understand and make a sense in the light of modern sciences. I feel really blessed to bridge the gap and say Vedas and Upanishads are full of mathematics, full of scientific evidences of the kind which cannot be denied by anyone who understands the concept of science of truthful. But unfortunately, almost all the scientists of the world haven't reached the level of truthful ultimate wisdom of science. They're just evolving science. So they can only say they're learning the art of and science of science, not understood science completely with the impeccable wisdom. Now let's go to the next slide. Now to make things very clear, this is a picture I've used in the front also. Background picture is of the sun, and I'm sure you all know when sun's core, how beautiful it looks. So outside picture is sun, and within that I have made another graphic presentation of helium-4 for people to understand this concept very clearly. So as I've written on top, the divine drama of fission and fusion of Aditi, Aditya and Aditi is Aditya is the hydrogen atoms. Let's start with it. Then Aditi, helium-4, which is made of two protons or positrons, two neutrons and two electrons. So that way, absolutely no. And this formation takes place in the core of the sun, which can be called a nuclear plant. Now we also know helium-4 is the first inert matter. We also know it is formless, colorless, all the characteristics of Atma are there. It cannot form any new element or new molecule or new compound or other thing. It doesn't take part. It just remains silentness. We also know in inert matter by itself is a dark unless until it charged. An example which I have given in the beginning is you take helium or neon or argon signboards. They do not emit light unless until they are charged. So similarly, if Vedas say before the creation everything was in dark state, that means whatever there was before creation was inert matter, and Vrihad Upanishad also said it was in a death state, it was in a tamasic state, and then with the Big Bang theory of neon 21 fused to form 22, and then everything appeared from that, and then slowly to dissolution, the smallest element which come to play an important role was hydrogen with one proton, one electron. And everything from there, including sun, reactions start from hydrogen to helium. But in the physicalized world on the earth, we can say human beings have evolved from mineral kingdom to plant kingdom to animal kingdom to what we are today. An entire chemistry from hydrogen to the ultimate can be experienced with it because our body is full of, you can call, bunch of atoms, elements, molecules, compounds, cells, tissues, and the organism. So that way I think a description has already been said, and this particular picture makes a lot of sense from that. Now, having said that, I'm preparing the ground for the next slide, which is going to be about the characteristics of Kundalini. I do believe, unless until this aspect is understood, that Kundalini is helium-4, it is produced in the sun and is released from the sun, and that enters into the human body, as I have made very clear, 22nd week of gestation, if it enters the growing fetus from the head, which is called Vidri or Brahmandra or anterior fontanelle, according to I3 Upanishad, it enters from that. And according to Akhand Vidyashram, also it's the same thing. And then it takes over and produces an ideal fetus to adult, which is ideal for spiritual evolution. From that angle, I think it's already been explained very clearly. Now with this background of scientific approach of helium-4, understanding Kundalini, its descent of Mahashakti to the body, and then evolution of Shakti to higher level to be one with it. And as we say, soul has come from sun. Our soul, indwelling soul has come from sun. It has got to go back to sun. And many people who do believe when the soul goes back to sun, and that is moksha. I cannot find fault with it. If some people go and the soul is able to go and disappear, is fine. But as far as I am personally concerned, I do believe human life is the only life which can understand and evolve. Even gods and goddesses who are realized souls, and they become gods and goddesses after death, even they have to take birth in human form for further evolution. And I do believe I would love to come back again and again to learn more and more about universal consciousness, including individual human consciousness. From that point, I do agree this has been a beautiful journey, and I'm sharing that to the best of my ability with the world. Now, with this background, we'll go to the next. This picture I have already spoken. As I told you, the soul enters from top, that you threshold within cent, it comes down, and it comes down to Muladhara Chakra, and finally it has to go back to ventricles, from where they can enlighten all the 100 trillion cells of the body and make it conducive instrument of divine consciousness by activating the three outer layers of neocortex, so that we can be in tune with Akash Kosh, get all the wisdom, then apply the wisdom to make ourselves immortal in every way. At the same time, we can be perfectly physically healthy, emotionally stable, mentally powerful, intellectually powerful, intuitively powerful, spiritually integrated, one with everything in the universe. We can be part and parcel All the secrets of that it can be at our thing, and that is what is spiritual sciences, and that is what these videos are all trying to portray. From that, let me say thank you very much for listening to whatever little I have said or I'm saying, and let's build on it. So thank you very much.